Welcome to WrenchWay Weekly, where we talk about the industry's hot topics, highlight the voice of technicians, and educate shops and dealerships to help improve the industry. This week's topic was another really strong one with a lot of strong opinions that I didn't necessarily get anything different than what I thought I would, which last couple times I've gotten some kind of different reaction than maybe what I would have thought. So this week's question was technician versus mechanic. Which term do you prefer? And this is something we've talked about in the past and something that I think we still need to talk about even after this. And the reason for that is I just don't think we're all on the same page in terms of what we should be referred to as. And I think that confusion really hurts us when we go out to industry and talk to them. We had 77% of the respondents to the WrenchWay Insiders poll say that they prefer to be called a technician or prefer the term technician. And then the opposite 23% of that was mechanic. And there were strong opinions on both sides. One response that I thought was really interesting was a technician that wrote in that when he's speaking to people in the industry, he refers to himself as a technician. And when he's talking to somebody that's not in the industry, he refers to himself as a mechanic. I thought that was really interesting because I think that's what happens to a lot of people, right? If you go out and you talk to somebody and say, hey, I'm a technician, they're going to say, like, what kind of technician are you? And granted, it's more descriptive of what we do, but I don't think the general public is quite as educated on our industry as what we are, obviously. So they, in their mind, still think mechanic. And I think this has really caused some level of a identity crisis, right? Where we're trying to get everybody to buy into the fact that we're technicians. And this is where maybe I have a slightly different opinion than most. I probably still refer to technicians as technicians almost all the time, but I look at it from the standpoint of if the general public doesn't understand what a technician is as compared to a mechanic. When you say mechanic, they have a pretty good idea of what you do, right? Whereas if you say technician, there's anything from a pharmacy technician to it's kind of a vague description. Now, my friend Rick Fowler said on a LinkedIn post that he liked something like techanic or mechanician or something different. And I think that's where we really need to have this discussion and talk about what we want to be identified as. Because if we're always split on what we want to be defined as, I don't think it's easier for the outside world to really understand what we do. So not saying that mechanic is the way to go. I definitely don't think that is fully descriptive of what we do. I do think the outside public's perception of a mechanic has changed a little bit. Now, I still understand the need and the want for people to be referred to as technicians. And it's because you've put so much effort into it. You know how smart these technicians are, and you don't want to downgrade that. Now, it is funny because I would have responses on both sides of the aisle where you could have removed one, you could have swapped them and it would have been either side. So I had one comment that said, a technician replaces parts and a mechanic actually knows why they're replacing them. Then on the opposite side, I had a mechanic just does the grunt work and a technician actually does the actual diagnostics. And so there were a lot of times where people from opposite sides of the aisle were saying the same thing, just exactly the opposite. So I think it's a conversation we need to keep having. We need to keep talking about it because I do truly feel like we find ourselves in a time where we've got a little bit of an identity crisis, and we need to know in our hearts that what we're doing and what we're selling in terms of, and selling isn't the right word for that, but when you tell a friend who's not in the industry that you're a technician, that you want them to know what you do, and maybe you preface that by saying automotive technician or diesel technician or machinery technician, whatever it is, and really kind of give them an idea and help them understand what it is that you do. So want to thank everybody for your responses this week. It was incredible to see the amount of people that are responding. Every week we kind of keep raising the bar, and it's so good to get these conversations out there. It's stuff that we're going to take and put into really good educational content. We're going to use it to talk about when we do technician type events where we're talking about the issues and trying to get everybody on the same page. It's not going to happen overnight, right? We can talk about these right now. These are changes that aren't going to happen overnight. So I think continuing the conversation, diving deeper rather than broader, is going to be a really, really important piece of what we do moving forward. So want to thank all of our WrenchWay Insiders that took the time to answer the questions and provide the incredible feedback. And I'll talk a little bit about the app here in just a second, but I think seeing how that's evolved and seeing how cool that has been and how easy it is to give feedback through that app is pretty cool. So thank you for all of the people that downloaded that app and that are really continuing to support us and giving us good, candid feedback. So this week's prize, we did something a little bit different. We did some swag, right? We did a Hoonigan Zip hoodie. So I think for me, I would wear one of those pretty easily. So our WrenchWay Insider winner for this week and of that Hoonigan Zip hoodie is Sean Rutherford. Congratulations, Sean. Hope you like the Hoonigan Zip hoodie. Hopefully gets you ready for winter. Moving forward, we are going to do the prize giveaways a little bit differently just because of the app. And so starting this week, in order to qualify for our weekly giveaways, you will need to answer the topic of the week question, the discussion, within the WrenchWay Insiders mobile app. For each question, and we call them challenges, so it's a little bit different in how you get these, but each challenge you answer, you will earn points that can be used in a super simple game called Higher or Lower. And it's just a simple card game that you probably played with your grandparents or with your buddies somewhere. So ultimately, the game is really easy. The person with the highest score in Higher or Lower at the end of the week will win the prize. So there's a little bit of gamification to it. And so this week's prize is a $100 Amazon gift card. And I don't know who wouldn't use a $100 Amazon gift card. I think that's pretty cool. So the app itself is invite only right now. And we're doing that to really kind of control who gets access to the app and the quality of the responses. So if you're a technician or somebody within the aftermarket fixed ops business, service business in general, and you'd like to request an invite, you can do that by filling out a form at the WrenchWay website or going to the link that we'll put at the video down below this. So thank you again to all of our insiders who have downloaded the WrenchWay Insider mobile app, completed challenges, and played our game. The winner of last week's Higher or Lower actually set the bar pretty high. And luckily, we get to reset for this following week because I didn't know that we would get somebody this high. But Kelsey Lancaster won with a high score of 40. Which is really, really good. So congrats to Kelsey Lancaster. As the winner of the Higher or Lower game, Kelsey also got a shot at a bigger game that we have called Queen of Hearts. And this is ultimately a prize that just keeps gaining money. So basically, we're picking until you get a Queen of Hearts. And the game itself is still out there. Kelsey selected the 7 of clubs. So the Queen of Hearts is still out there. And the pot actually increases each week that we do this. So the pot is at $600 right now. Again, just a really fun way to incorporate our questions, get everybody answering and talking, and then rewarding people along the way. So we just posted some new challenges. We're going to do that every week. And the more you do that, the more you answer the challenges, the more points you get, and the chances you have at playing Higher or Lower to win that $100 Amazon gift card. So check it out. I think it's awesome. I've played it myself, and it's a blast. Of course, I can't win because I'm an internal employee, but it is a lot of fun and kind of addicting. So check it out, WrenchWay Insiders app. You can get it anywhere that you would get any app. So Google Play Store, iTunes, whatever it is. I shouldn't say iTunes, it's the App Store. But anyways, next week's topic that we will be putting out into the WrenchWay Insiders app is, do you prefer working in a dealership or an independent? And so we want to talk more about what your preferences are. Why do you like working in a dealership better? Why do you like working in an independent better? And really kind of using that information to help educate our network on what we can do to improve both sides, right? Because as we improve the industry, we improve both sides of this. we can really get people talking and try to make maybe what a weak point in a dealership is more of a strength, and maybe what a weak point of an independent is more of a strength, right? And hopefully with that makes the industry better as a whole. And we are going to have an option for other as well. So if you're in a fleet or a government job or wherever you're at, you can have the ability to answer why you prefer that too. So thanks again to all of our WrenchWay Insiders. The data and the information you guys are giving us is awesome. It's really good. Great feedback. Keep it coming. You guys are amazing. Look forward to getting this next question on the dealerships or independents out in the open and talking about it. So thanks again. Have a great week.